This is What School Didn't Teach Me, a podcast meant to build community on all the things school doesn't prepare you for. Hi, I'm your host, Jasmine Kiamber, and class is in session. Y'all, my church is going on fast. Happy New Year. It's January. And I am really riding off the high of the fact that it is January. Like, it is 2024. We are here. We are present in this moment, and I am super excited about it. My church is going on a fast, a 21-day fast, and we're on day 3 of the fast as of right now. And y'all, I made this bomb juice. Hold on. Yeah, get into it. It's called the Ginger Zinger. So if y'all see me drink the juice, it's because I can't have no food. So bear with me. Anyway, I'm excited that you're here. Before we even get into this episode, I want to do my little book review. Last week, I told y'all that I was going to have it for this week. And I tallied up the books that I've read this year. I didn't count them, but I put them all in one space. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I read 6 books this year. I know last week I said I didn't know how many books I read this year, but I literally read the same amount of books I read the same amount of books in 2023 than I did in 2022. So in 2024, we up in the score. I'm not going to put a number on it because, yeah. Actually, let me put a number on it. I'm going to read 10 books in 2024. I've already started on my one that I'm actually going to share with y'all later. Not in this episode, but way later. I started a new book and I'm so in love with it. I can't wait to share this book with y'all. But this week, I'd like to introduce Hotel 21. Yeah. Hotel 21 by Cinta Rich. Okay, let's get into it. The book is about a woman who is a housekeeper. No, I lied. She's a housekeeper at hotels. She's a housekeeper at hotels, which means she goes in rooms, she cleans them while the guests are still there and even after they leave. And instead of being a regular housekeeper, instead of just going and cleaning the room, she steals things. Like little things that nobody would even think of. Little things that people aren't even thinking about stealing. If I'm cleaning somebody's room, I'm thinking about stealing a watch. I'm thinking about stealing some expensive makeup. I'm thinking about stealing earrings, diamond earrings. No, this woman is stealing tweezers. She's stealing fine tooth combs. She's stealing singular eyelashes. Do you know how annoying it would be if I left the room and we getting ready for the function and I could only find one lash? I would be mad. So she just steals little things that would inconvenience people, right? Like she doesn't steal anything huge. I think the biggest thing she stole was like a brooch, but the brooch ended up being a like an heirloom. So that ended up causing some conflict. And so, right, like when she'll steal little things. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. The top says tidy rooms, messy lives. And boy, are these lives messy. Because when she steals things, of course, like she doesn't get caught. She does this thing where she gets super acquainted with the people that she's working with so that if there's ever a complaint against her, everybody's coming to her defense. Like, no way would she ever do this. The character's name is Noelle. No way would Noelle ever do this. You're really on some stuff. Like, we're not going to let you come for Noelle. Like, you must have just lost it. Don't come for us. Whole time, it's in her apron. It's in this chest she has at home. Like, whole time, she has really stolen whatever it is that people are asking for. And so when she gets a complaint, she makes up some excuse on why she has to leave that hotel and just dips. Like, call it what it is, out. And in the book, she has been through 20 hotels. So I think if I remember correctly, Hotel 19 scarred her. Hotel 20, she was only at for about a month. And now she's on Hotel 21. And Hotel 21, the floor Hotel 21 is like some big luxurious hotel. Like she's worked at multiple different kinds of hotels. Mid-grade, rundown, motel, and luxury. So at the moment she's working at a luxury hotel. She's working at I can't remember the name of it, but it's like this big and beautiful hotel that rich people come to. She's getting some good stuff this time. And everyone is assigned to a floor. So it's not like you are working whatever floor that day. Groups are assigned to specific floors. So she's assigned to a floor with these women who are super close to each other. Like they go out together, they occupy each other when they're cleaning rooms, they help each other out, but they're still like spunky and they have their own personalities. Like it's really beautiful, the bond that they have. And so she ends up getting with them, or she ends up being paired up with them. And she's only in it for the goods. She's just trying to get the goods and dip. And so these women aren't really going for that. They're like, hey, you're a part of our group. If you're a part of our group, you got to be a part of our family. Like if you're cleaning on this floor, you got to be a part of our family. So they invite her out. They invite her to do things with them. Like she gets invited to one of their sisters' house to celebrate the sister's birthday. Like they incorporate her into their lives. And she is like, I'm getting too close to y'all. Like, I'm enjoying this too much. I'm getting too close to y'all. This is getting to be a little too much for me. And tries to dip. And for that, you'll just have to read the book. You'll have to read the book. Hotel 21 by Senta Rich. I would say that this book would be a movie rather than a show. Like, if it were to be a movie or a show, I would rather see it in a movie. The only thing that threw me about this book was the romantic aspect, because I was so much more interested in why she was stealing and the relationship that like her other interpersonal relationships rather than her romantic relationships. And trust me when I say, I'm a rom-com girl. I love, love, love a good romance. But in this book, I cared more about her, like, her psychological process. Like I cared more about her thought process and her background than I did about her love life. Yeah, so I definitely wanted to see more of that. I definitely wanted to see more of her other interpersonal relationships, or her other, what made her what she is. I feel like that could have nicely replaced her love life. But y'all read the book. Y'all read the book and tell me what y'all think, because I'm so interested to know how y'all feel about, I don't know, people stealing. But yeah, that was Hotel 21. Please go read the book. And yeah, more book reviews to come. I have literally, I read six books this year, and I've only reviewed 3. So I got to review the rest. And then we can move into the 2023 books. And hopefully by the time I review the rest, I'm done with the book that I was just telling y'all about. I'm done with the book that I'm reading now. This week, I want to talk about reinventing yourself. I mentioned it last week. I mentioned that we were going to have an episode about what it meant to reinvent yourself. But I feel like now is the time. It's the new year. I gotta stop saying y'all. I was editing and I'm like, man, there's so many in this video. It's getting on my nerves. I just gotta start taking my time when I speak. It's a new year, and I know we always say new year, new you. But we don't have to wait till the new year to reinvent ourselves, to become a new us, to walk in whatever we feel like we want to walk in. I know that we often wait till it's either a new year, or it's, you're going to a new school, or you're going to, like, you basically wait until the proper time where nobody knows you to change your life or to reinvent yourself. I know for me, I went to college and I changed my name. I changed my name, and that literally changed my whole, I used that as an opportunity to change my whole, not my whole persona, but the way that I allow people to treat me, and like my new set of boundaries. Like I literally went to college, changed my name, changed my life. So I feel like I have enough experience in that area to just tell y'all what I know. And lately I haven't been using my notebook, but today I got my notebook because y'all know when I got something to say for real, I gotta make sure I'm not going on a tangent. So, boom. My mama always said, every day is a new day to reinvent yourself. Every day is a new day to start over. And I heard her say that, but I didn't really know what it meant to start over if you weren't starting life over. Like, yeah, every day I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna still be 12 years old and until I'm 13, and I'm gonna still go to the same school, have the same friends, have the same name. Like, life, nothing about life is different every day, right? That was just my mindset, when I was 12. But I will always hear her say that every day is a new day to reinvent yourself. Every day is a new day to start over. And I'm glad that she said it. Even though I didn't get it at the time, I'm glad that she said it because it allowed me to, it was ingrained in my brain, even though I didn't need it yet. I didn't need it yet. It was ingrained in my brain. And then when I felt like I needed it, it came up. It came up and literally did wonders for me. So my mom said every day is a new day to start over. Every day is a new day to reinvent yourself. And we always wait till New Year's. We always wait till graduation, till we go to college, till we go to a new school, till we see new people, till we go to the workforce to decide who we're going to be in that space. And then we go right back home and get reverted back to what was, right? Like, you can go outside of home. You can go outside of your regular space and be somebody new. And then, but you can go outside of your home, outside of your regular space and be somebody new. But if you never take that space, that new you back home, you're going to get reverted back to what you used to do. You're going to get a whole bunch of triggers. Like, there's going to be some cognitive dissonance. There's going to be a gap between who you want to be, who you were, wherever you were, and who you are now, or who you are when you are home. So, what does it mean to reinvent yourself? Because that was one thing that I struggled with, or I didn't quite understand why I couldn't really put it into practice, because I didn't really know what it meant to reinvent myself, because I just thought there were things about myself that I could not change. That was before I went to college. That was before I graduated high school, because graduating high school, I was just like, you know what? As soon as I'm out of here, I'm changing my name and I'm a new boo. Like, I'm a new person. Please don't ask me. Yeah, no, please don't ask me about that other girl. And it's crazy because now I use both my names. And it was so funny because, once I went to school, I was Camber. Then I would come home and I was Jasmine. And now I'm Jasmine Camber because both those sides of me still exist. But at school, when my friends would learn my name, when they would find out my name is Jasmine, they would always be like, man, so what do they call you back home? And it's so funny because at home, nobody knew my middle name was Camber. And at school, nobody knew my first name was Jasmine. So it was always like that separation. Like, it was always this, I don't know. It was always an alter ego. That's really what it was. It was always another side of me. So I always thought that was funny. But what does it mean? What does it mean to reinvent yourself? It means that you get to make the choices. It means that you get to take control over how people treat you, how you decide to be seen, what you decide to accept and tolerate, and basically what exists in your reality. I remember somebody saying, I can't remember where I was or who said it, but they were like, the past only exists because you let it. And like, the past only exists because you keep bringing it up. And while in a lot of situations, you cannot erase the past. Like, you can't. That's a fact. You cannot erase the past, but you can keep it from having power over you. And I know when we want to reinvent ourselves, when we want to change something about ourselves, when we want to change the way people see us or the way people treat us, I know for me, I won't speak for everybody, but I'll speak for me. It can be hard because you can think about what everybody else may say, what everybody else may think about you making this change for you. You making this shift for you. Like, what is my best friend from high school? I don't know. We've had this same kind of relationship. I don't know if they'll be able to change. What about my cousins at home. We've always joked like this, and I'm scared they're going to clown me if I decide to change this. Well, you're thinking about them and not about you. You're thinking about other people again. Snap out of it. Snap out of it and think about you for a second. Do you like the way they treating you? Like, do you like the way that they're treating you? Do you like the jokes that you and your best friend from high school have? Do you appreciate, do, are these jokes and this treatment in alignment with the person that you see yourself becoming? Because if not, it's okay to make some changes. It is okay to tell people to set new boundaries with people. It's not going to be easy. At no point is it going to be easy until you get a group, until you get into practice of it. Like, deciding what your new boundaries are going to be is not an easy process. Mustering up the courage to ask people to abide by those boundaries is not an easy process. And it's not going to be easy for them to not to remember, but it's not going to be easy for them to automatically implement those things on the fly. And it's not going to be easy for you to constantly remind them. Like, you got about 3 times to remind them before you decide if they being disrespectful or not. But, it's not going to be easy for you to remind them. Like, no part of this is going to be easy. But as you continue to hold each other accountable, or as you continue to hold them accountable to what your goals are and to what you want, that's when it gets easier. That's when it gets easier. That's when y'all can create a flow of, this is what we used to do, but this is what we do now. And therefore, what we used to do no longer exists. Like, of course, we can talk about it, we can laugh about it, but it's in the past. It no longer exists in the reality of my right now. When I went to school, I changed my name. I was like, okay, I'm Camber. Like, I'm doing away with Jasmine, and now I'm Camber. And when people introduced me, when I introduced myself to people, I said, hi, my name is Camber. And that's who I was. And I changed my name to give myself the space to grow. I felt like there were a lot of things attached to the name Jasmine that I no longer wanted to be attached to. I felt like Jasmine was a people pleaser. I felt like Jasmine didn't get enough respect. I felt like Jasmine was always the butt of the joke. Like, there were so many emotions and feelings and resentment that I had towards the person that I was, that I wanted to change. And I was like, okay, when I get to college, there's going to be none of that. When I get to college, I'm going to another state. I'm going where nobody knows me. And it wasn't like, oh, she thinks she's brand new. It was, I see the type of person that I want to be. I know the way that I want I know the way I want to be treated. And I don't yet have the tools to express that to the people I am around now, because I later developed those tools. So I'm going to go to this new space, and I'm going to at least not let these people treat me like, I'm at least going to, all the things that I felt like I resented at home, I'm at least going to nip those in the bud when I see them, right? So boom, I got to school, introduced myself, and lived the way that I thought I wanted to live. Like, I made conscious decisions towards the person that I knew I wanted to be. I didn't let certain people treat me any type of way. I didn't let certain jokes fly with me. Like, I did not tolerate certain things. And I ignored more things than I responded to. Like, when I felt like I was getting triggered, I responded differently. Like, something about being in a different environment for me helped shape me into becoming the person that I wanted to be. So then when I would come home, at least the first couple times I came home, I had to be mindful of, of the fact that I was home, and that when I was home, nobody knew who I was at school. Nobody knew the shifts that I had made at school. And I just had to deal with it. I had to realize what was triggering me, what was bothering me, and I had to reassess my reality, right? So then, as I continued to grow as Kiamber, I would come home and re-implement those things, re-implement those behaviors at home, not at school, at home. But you don't have to go to college for that to happen to you. Like, you don't have to go. I'm just telling you all of this because that was my experience. You don't have to wait till you get to a whole new environment to change your boundaries, to tell people, I'm not going to allow you to treat me like this anymore, to change the way that you see yourself, because that's really all it is. At least that's what it was for me. A big part of how I felt like people treated me was a part of how I felt about myself. Like, I always felt like I was the little dog, and now I'm the big dog, So if you feel like, so you don't have to wait. Like I said in the very beginning, every single day that you wake up is a new day for you to start over. Now, these changes won't happen overnight. If you got people around you that you feel like don't treat you the way you want to be treated, there is room and space for you without cutting off those people. Because sometimes that's just not necessary. Like, of course, along this journey, there are gonna be people that you can't take with you, because as you elevate, those people will be trying to stay down, and you don't have time for that. But you ain't gotta cut everybody off. You don't have to have a whole new group of friends, a whole new family to re-implement new boundaries. No, you just have to be very open and honest with the people that are around you now. About the goals that you have, about how you feel when they do certain things that trigger you, how you feel when that happens, and how they can change their ways, and whether or not they decide to change their ways is up to them, right? That's up to them. And what you do with that information is what you do with that information, right? But it's not going to happen overnight. Like, changing the art of reinvention, the art of changing who you are is not going to happen overnight. It's literally a culmination of small adjustments. I literally didn't realize how much I had changed until my senior year. And of course, that's like a three-year span, but still, like, I didn't realize how making small decisions every day literally reshaped who I was. Making a decision to say no to some things and say yes to others. Making a decision to keep certain people in check when I felt like they were talking to me a little crazy. Making certain decisions to apologize when I felt like I was wrong. That literally reshaped who I was, and how people treated me, and how people saw me, and how I felt like people respected me. Like, all of these were gradual adjustments. So it's not going to happen overnight. Here's how it happens, right? It's one change at a time. It's, okay, today I've decided that I don't like meat. I'm going to give up meat. Maybe I won't give it up forever. I'll give it up for a week. You give it up. And when your friends are around you, like, what's wrong? You don't want chicken parmesan? Be like, no, I'll take eggplant parmesan. And they're like, are you acting brand new? No, I've decided that I'm going to give up meat for a little while. So, until I decide that I want chicken parmesan, I'll be eating vegetarian options. And you'll be surprised that half your friends won't clown you. And the half that do, you'll probably only lose one of those on the way, if you lose any. Sometimes we just don't lose people. Sometimes people just got to get readjusted to what we want. But it's literally as simple as that. It's one day I decide I'm not going to eat meat anymore. I'm vegetarian for a week. That week turns into a month. That month turns into a year. Whatever. Okay. The next day I wake up and I don't really like how I give people my last. So I'm not going to do that anymore. And the people around you are still going to ask for your last, because that's what they're used to. And you have to get used to saying, no, I want that. Or, You can have one, but you can't have all of them. Like, you're going to have to get used to setting those boundaries. That was the biggest part for me. That was probably the hardest part for me. I'll never forget it, y'all. Never will I forget it. I know I said this story in season 1. I'll never forget it. I was maybe a month into school, and my mom and we bonded over turtles, the candy. I love turtles because my mom loved turtles. And when I first got to school, she made sure I had snacks. She made sure I had food, and then like I had one bin for food, and then I had one bin for snacks, and I kept those in my room. And she made sure to put turtles in there in my snack bin. And I had a thing where I would save things. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that very soon. But I had a thing where I would save things until I got the impulse to use them or eat them. And I've broken out of that habit because that's not a good habit to have. But I was saving the turtles. And I had a bunch of snacks. So my friends would come, and as we were spending time together, of course, we would spend hours together. We would spend hours in whoever room we were in. And so we were in my room, and we had been there a minute, and one of my friends asked if she could have the turtles. And I was like, and I was very hesitant because I hadn't opened the turtles. The turtles had been there for a while, but I hadn't opened them, but they were from my mom. And, I'm at school. I'm literally 500 miles away from my mom. Baby, I am savoring any kind of memory of her. But they were from my mom, and I was like, you know what? I was like, yeah, but, at least save me one. She only saved me one. She ate 2 of the turtles and only saved me one. And, y'all, I was so hot. I was hot. I was hot. But I knew that it wasn't her fault. It didn't say anything about her or how she felt about me or how she treated me. No, it just meant that I didn't really say what I wanted. What I wanted was for her to save me too. They were mine. You know what I'm saying? They were mine. And I only wanted her to have one and to save me too. So I should have said that. You know what I'm saying? I should have made that very clear. But at the time, that was hard for me to say. But everybody has their breaking point. Everybody has their breaking point. And that wasn't necessarily my breaking point, but that was my eye opener. That is what made me realize, okay, I have got to start laying down some new rules when it comes to sharing, when it comes to giving. Because back in the day, I used to just give my last and take it and walk away, but now things are different. Now I want what I have. I only accept the things that I want. And so I can't just let anybody have the things that I want. And so as it took time, but eventually it got to a point where I was saying, you can have this, but not that. You can have a couple of these, but not all of them. I'm okay with you having this, but not that. And now it's gotten way easier for me to vocalize, to be open and be honest. Like, I don't want to give my last. And I don't have to explain myself. Like, I used to have to feel like I had to explain myself for why I was changing or why I wanted things to be different or why things couldn't be the same as before, why I didn't want to share my X, Y, and Z, why I didn't want to give my last. No, I don't have to explain myself. If I explain myself, it's because every now and again you owe somebody an explanation. Like, if you promise somebody something and now you can't do it or now you don't want to give it, okay. Be open and honest, be transparent, give that person an explanation because they probably deserve it. But 9 times out of 10, you don't have to give anybody an explanation for what you don't want to do, what you don't want to give. It's a simple no. It's a simple no, right? So, yeah, I had to learn, like, it's step by step. I say that because it's step by step. It's one change at a time. Now you're a vegetarian and you have better boundaries. Okay. Next step. This certain type of music makes me anxious. I don't want to listen to this type of music. And I don't necessarily want to be around that type of music at all. Okay. That one's a little harder because you can control what you do, but you can't necessarily control what other people do. But people can be mindful of what you like and don't like. So You get around your friends. Let's say you don't like well, I'll speak from my personal experience. I used to listen to alternative music. I used to listen to Pierce the Veil. I used to listen to Simple Ones. I used to listen to 21 Pilots, Panic at the Disco. Like My Chemical Romance. I only liked a couple of their songs, but I used to listen to that type of music, and that was at a very dark point in my life. And so eventually I got to a point where I was like, that type of music makes me anxious. Like, it takes me back to a place that I worked really hard to get out of. And therefore, I don't want to listen to that music. And I don't even want to be around that music. Like, that is how I am now. Like, I don't want to be around that music. I don't want to listen to it. And so, let's say I am around some friends and that's what they listen to. I have to be open and honest and say, hey, can we listen to something else? Like, and if we, and what if they say, like, for an example, I have to be, I'm sorry, okay. And so this is a decision that I have made. And let's say I'm around some friends and we used to listen to that music all the time, but now that's no longer my MO. That's no longer what I'm about. I'm trying to change my mindset, and that music is not necessarily in line with my mental health, essentially. And we play it and I say, hey, can we listen to something else? And they're like, what? Why? Like, why? We listen to this all the time. Like, this used to be our song. This used to be your favorite song, your favorite band. You used to love, what was his name? You used to love Josh Dunn. Now what's happening? That's when you can be open and honest. Like, well, I noticed that this music makes me anxious, and I just, I'm feeling a little anxious right now as we're listening to it, and it would just make me feel better if we listen to something different. It's not going to be easy for you to say that. It's not going to be easy for them to hear that. But one, it's good for you to make your changes known. Like, it's good for you to be open and honest about the things that you want to change, especially to the people around you, because they can help. They can help. Even if it's not like, oh, here are some resources. It's, we can not be around you while we do X, Y, Z that you're trying to get away from. And it's not necessarily like, oh, we're not going to be friends anymore. It's them respecting your boundaries the best way that they can. So, boom, this used to be your favorite song. Now what's happening? I'm trying to change my life. This music is not conducive to what I'm trying to do. This music is making me anxious. They either change the song or they don't. And you have to decide what you're going to do if they don't change the song. Because you might sit there for the whole 3 minutes of the song and be anxious the whole 3 minutes and then anxious for 15 minutes after that. Or you can get up and leave. You can get up and go. There was a point in my life where I was smoking a whole lot. And of course, I'm smoking. Me and all my friends are smoking. And, we smoke together. And when I decided that I wasn't going to smoke anymore, like, they would ask me, you want to hit it? You want to smoke it? And I would just be like, no, like, I'm trying to stop. I'm taking a break. I'm trying to stop. And I can't stop them from doing what they're doing, nor did I feel disrespected when they continue to hit their blunt. Like, baby, do what you do. I just can't participate. And at certain points, it would be like, okay, in the beginning of me trying to stop, it would be like, okay, I see them about to roll the blunt. Like, it's probably time for me to go. I know they about to light it. Like, it's probably time for me to go, and I'm going to leave. They know the type of time I'm on. They know I'm trying to change my life. I'm going to get up and leave. And of course, like, people notice when you're gone. If they care about you, they notice. And so it got to a point where my friends would, like, roll, and they would be like, I'm not about to smoke it. Like, you could stay. I'm not about to smoke it. I'm just rolling it for later. Or it even got to a point for me where I could be around them or in their presence while they were doing what they're doing and not feel tempted, not feel any type of way about it. That came from me taking small steps to lay boundaries for myself and for them. If you notice, well, like, they had to know what was going on with me for them to even be considerate enough for them to say, like, we not about to smoke it, we not about to spark it, you could stay, like, because they know I'm strict about my boundaries. Reinvention is all about boundaries. It's setting a clear standard for yourself, setting clear boundaries for yourself on what you're going to do, what you're not going to do, what you're going to accept, what you're not going to accept, what you'll tolerate, what you won't tolerate, and then holding people to that same standard. And whether they abide by your boundaries or not is something that you have to deal with. That's it. That's the key. Boundaries. Good boundaries that you stick to, because if you don't stick to your boundaries, then people will run all over them. And that's the truth. But like, even when I changed my name, and my friends would find out, my close friends, they would find out my real name, like they would find out my name is Jasmine, they still knew not to call me by that. You know what I'm saying? Because it was still, at least my freshman year, it was still very sensitive to me, because I used to be afraid, like, if they find out my name is Jasmine, it's just going to be a spiral and I'm just going to go downhill all over again. I still had to be vocal that, yes, my name is Jasmine. Y'all call me Camber. Camber is my middle name, but still call me Camber. Do not call me Jasmine. Like, I had to be open and honest with them. And I had some friends who would try it. I had some friends who would just spit the name out when we were in public, or spit the name out trying to get my attention. And I had to be honest and open with them. Like, that's not going to fly with me. I really don't like when you do that. Please stop. And they either got with it, or they're gone. Like, they either got with it, they either got right or got left. That's it. Like, you have to be more strict. If you want to change something about yourself this year, even if it's not your whole personality. I know for me, like, I changed my mindset. I changed the way I viewed myself, the way other people viewed me, the way I view respect, love, all of that, based off of a name change and a couple of years. It may not be that deep for you. You may just want to change your diet, but you're scared your family are going to call you funny. I see memes all the time where they say, like, you can't never do nothing about black people because they're going to make a joke out of everything. If what you want to change is your diet, and you are tempted by meat, or you are tempted by sweets, and you say, hey, I really don't want to eat sweets. I'm really trying not to eat sweets. If we could just not get dessert when we go out, if y'all could just not bring the cake to my house, like, you know, for my birthday party, if y'all could, like, not buy me cake, let's just buy me like a fruit cake. Buy me like a fruit platter and we'll stick a candle in there. Like, it's okay to change. Don't think about other people when you want to change. Think about you and who you want to be. It's okay to change. It's okay to want something about your life to be different. It's okay to want your life to be different. And it is normal for you to feel like, I can't do it because the people around me may not respect me after that. They may not respect me the same. They may not, abide by what I'm asking them because they're not good with boundaries. Try. Like, put what you want out there. The things that you want to do, the way that you want to change, put that out there. Be open and honest about them, and see how the people around you morph. Like, see how the people around you respect you or don't. And the people who don't respect you, or the people that don't respect what you're trying to do, the ways that you're trying to better yourself, you deal with them accordingly. That's it. That's all I have for this week. I know that it's a new year, and a lot of us are going to be trying to reinvent ourselves. So just take these tips and see if they help. And read this book now. Get the book, y'all. We got some big stuff coming. If you're not into reading, you will be by the end of this year, because we got some big stuff coming. Get the book. And send to Rich, send me another book. But yeah, I love y'all. And I'll see y'all next week.